Hey everybody, my name is Ivica. Thank you so much for joining me on my latest I'm Gaming podcast episode. This is a podcast about the video game industry, entrepreneurship, gaming nostalgia, layoffs in the global gaming industry, and what to do about them, and many more things I find to be in the same realm of business and creative ventures. Like always, first and foremost, a huge thanks goes to my Patreon supporters. Without your continuous and generous monthly donations, I would not be able to keep making these episodes and reach, believe it or not, episode 282, which is this episode that you're listening to right now. And it is all about the ongoing massive wave of game industry layoffs. Recently, Microsoft let go a huge number of people, turned down or shut down funding or direct development of a range of projects, and all of this is happening as the same apparent wave has been rolling more or less nearly for a year, actually even longer if we take the start back in 2023, nearly 2 years ago, which is pretty devastating, and so many people are regularly losing their jobs. It's enough to open up your LinkedIn account and check out if you have friends or acquaintances or people you just know from conferences and stuff like that anywhere in the world who are working in the game development industry. You'll be flooded with people who lost their jobs and looking for new ones. However, these new ones are clearly in a very sparse demand, in a very sparse, let's say, abundance, and there's not enough of them, while at the same time the demand is huge. It's only apparently growing. And this leaves people in a rut. It leaves them in a place where you, psychologically speaking, are feeling very bad. You're feeling very drained. You're feeling, most importantly, helpless. Now, I can discuss these things in a bit more detail because actually I'm a psychologist and my original education and training was in psychology. So I would like to kind of shed a light from that on the same process from that psychological perspective. And basically, there is so many things happening there. Of course, nothing is primary and people have different experiences, but for a lot of people, the strongest sense comes from that idea that you're left in the wind, that you're hopelessly without any ability to help yourself. And you're simply relying completely and totally on the whim of others and what can or cannot they do for you. You're sending your CVs, you're looking to get those interviews or technical tests, but you always feel like someone else is calling the shots. Someone else is deciding what you will or will not get. Psychologically, that's a very bad place to be because it leaves you seeing the world as a form of prison where you're just an inmate and the guards are those who are the shot callers. Anyone is the shot caller apart from you, and that can leave people, and usually is people, feeling either anxious or sad or a combination of these two things. But sooner or later it basically drains your energy because you again feel like you're a prisoner, you're someone who is trapped, and someone else will decide when you're let out or not let out. That is why it's really important to get into personal projects. Now, there's a lot of advices out there. What should you do, how to do it, about your CV or approaching HR departments of different companies. But in this case, I want to talk about a single thing that is completely unconnected to your job search, which should continue, of course. You need your day job. This is all about creating your project. That project can be whatever you like. Long time ago, psychologists recognized that one of the best advices, practical advices you can give to a person who lost their job is to literally start a garden. It means what it means. Start a garden, either on your balcony or in your yard, wherever you can, however you can, whatever that garden includes. But the process of making a garden is incredibly satisfying for anyone who is into it and continues to do it, because you're building something. You're allowing yourself to expand your effort, expand your intellect, your ideas and your knowledge to whatever capacity, and get results, practical results in terms of flowers or beautiful plants or herbs or things that you can eat if you're building kind of a produce garden. But in any case, the stuff that you're working on is a place where you exert your efforts, and those efforts bear fruit, sometimes literally, because that is an important and very fulfilling feeling, an emotion, a state, a mental state that combines both ideas and emotions, where you can see your efforts resulting in something. Often, while you're looking for a job, there's no payback, there's no payoff, there's nothing. You're simply doing stuff, hoping to land that one job, but until you do, nothing is kind of allowing you to invest yourself and then giving out rewards for that investment. Even if you reach an interview or a technical test or something else, and then you get a no, few people will be inspired or fulfilled by that. It can be reassuring to a point, but not actually fulfilling. That's why personal projects you're working on a side, like a side development or side, literally personal project, are so important because they will allow you to exert effort, to invest yourself, and get something from it. What are you getting? Well, that is the question, but there are a lot of options. For example, you simply want to earn a bit of side money. You have so many possibilities of working online, menial jobs, which might include really tiny efforts of an hour or two per day, which will get you really tiny amounts of money, nothing you can live off on, but still something that will give back that information. You're doing something, you're getting something in return. You can build games, you can create artistic projects that can be useful for your CV later on. You can create content, create a YouTube channel, Twitch stream, TikTok profile. You can get into any kind of learning process. For example, you might want to get into photography and open up an Instagram account where you share your photos, just so you can have something that is growing, just so you can have your garden. And that garden will bear fruit not just directly, because chances are, even if your venture, your project is successful and manages to help you find a job, earn you some money, etc., it will still primarily provide you that sense of accomplishment and the notion that you're doing something and that something is visible, tangible, and it exists, unlike simply going into projects that are only designed to get you that new job, but they're not project. It's an ongoing effort that will satisfy you and provide you that sense of accomplishment once it's completed, once you get that job. But till then, you can easily get frustrated, angry, sad, and anxious about the whole thing, which will ultimately impact your sleep, impact your appetite, impact your relationships, and thus provide something that is draining your energies. Your side project, your personal project, can boost your energies and also provide you with some direct practical benefits, including money, if you manage to kind of set your sights on a realistic goal and manage to invest time and effort in it regularly. None of that is easy, none of that is intuitive or fast, but it's rewarding first and foremost personally, just like building your garden. And this is your metaphorical garden, but still a garden that can provide you with so many benefits. So there's an idea: if you're a layoff victim, if you're somebody who is thinking about the possibility of getting laid off, think of those personal projects, because ultimately they're yours, they're under your control, and they will bear fruit. So there you go. Hopefully you found this episode interesting. Hopefully you found these thoughts useful. If you did, please let me know what you think about all of this in the comment below. And of course, if you'd like to support me, please check out my Patreon page, please check out my channel memberships, please check out my books on Amazon, including my book on creating microventures, similar to these, some of these that I'm discussing here. It's called The Pursuit of Micro Success. Links to all of that are in the description below, but of course the cheapest, easiest, fastest way to support me, simply subscribe to my channel and be here for my new clips. That's all for me. My name is Ivica. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And I wish you a great day, a great week. Happy job hunting, successful job hunting. and interesting personal projects you might get into. That's all from me. Until the next week and the new episode of I'm Gaming Podcast, goodbye.